Hi, my Teaserking family. All right, back for round two. Apparently, I freeze, and it's weird, is because I can see myself. I can see my hand moving. So when I see that, I don't know I've frozen. Okay, Greg John said you're frozen, but I didn't see his message right away. But I don't know I'm freezing on this side as I am there. So let me check my. Hope all is well. Friday before Memorial. All right, that's what I was doing. So am I now moving? I think I'm moving. So am I now moving? Yes, okay. So that's good. So again, I don't know that I'm freezing on your end if I'm moving on my end. So my apologies for that. I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's my computer or if it's my internet. But if it's my internet, I would think this would be bad, but it's clear it's not. So I don't know. I lost internet this morning. I got an email at 7 o'clock. My internet's out from Spectra, and by 8:30 when I woke up, it was back on. Haven't heard from Daria today, but I think she's working. Been pretty good every day. She's pretty much signaling me, which is good. What else? Like I said, so getting ready for Memorial Weekend. If people are going to barbecues, going vacationing, driving up north here. People like to get out and get away and get a long weekend. So a lot of people are off Monday for the holiday, take today off. And so they leave Thursday night or they leave Friday morning and go, it's a 4 or 5 hour drive up north. And they go relax on a lake in a cottage in a hotel or something, go play golf or whatever. So I did my thank yous. So if you do interview, you should still say thank you. Basically, thanks for interviewing me. I'm excited about the job. I hope I join your team. Have a nice weekend. Just something like you're just trying to thank them for taking the time to interview you. Does it really matter? I don't think it can hurt. I don't think it'll get you it hasn't been getting me the jobs, the other ones. I did say some thank yous. I know that it gets you the job. Will it cost you the job? I don't know. If I didn't send one, would I not get one? I don't know. I didn't send one to Harley, I don't think, because I was on the plane. I did it at the airport in Philadelphia Thursday at 5 o'clock. And I'm sure I was on the plane and I didn't land till Friday morning in Barcelona. And I was exhausted. So I doubt I sent a thank you. And Monday, I got the job. So I think if they want you, they're going to take you with or without it. I think it's just something you're used to. So we got about 50 minutes into the first try of this video. So you should have got all the baseball and basketball. I'll review the baseball right now one more time. Minnesota minus 5.5 in basketball, 5 unit. Kansas City, 10 unit. Baltimore, 5 unit. The Cubbies, 10 unit. San Diego, under 7.5, 5 unit. Arizona, 5 unit. The Dodgers, 5 unit. Philly, 5 unit. Cleveland, over 7.5, 5 unit. And the Fighting Verlanders, 5 units as he goes tonight. So there's a good number of picks, but it's warranted. The Cubs have some really good pitchers. We know Verlander. Philly's got some good ones. Kansas City's got some really good ones. So that's what you're looking for, that pitcher with the 1.5 ERA against the guy with the 5 ERA. And that's really the basis of a lot of the bets we're looking for. When two aces face each other, it's an under. And when two pigs face each other, it's an over, basically. Hey, Greg and John. So with that said, so let's go back to, I was showing you eBay. So let's go back to that. So I was showing you some prices. So a 1 ounce Cougarance, 2,400, a quarter ounce Eagle, 700, and a quarter ounce Philharmonic is 644. A half ounce Eagle is 1268. A 1 ounce Maple Leafs, 2431, just to get you flavors. It's about 100 over spot, but that's normal, and you shouldn't get upset about that. They're not going to sell it to you at spot, so they add a premium to it based on demand. Now, I was talking about, why is this Jordan card 500,000? Because I'm showing you limited. If it's a limited PSA 10 Jordan rookie, there's huge demand. You're going to get 500,000 for it. That's why this is worthless, because you've printed 21 trillion in the US and another 130 trillion outside. So it shows you, when you print a lot, there is no value. And when you have a very card that's very tough, that's a PSA 10, you will get 500,000 for it. And that's what we're looking at. And I was showing you the Montana PSA 10, 100 and a quarter, because this was hard to get centered. So it's hard to get a 10 on a Montana rookie, 81 tops. But it's 100 and a quarter, and that's where I go. But is this not worth 100 and a quarter? Wouldn't this be worth more in the Montana rookie card? So what I was trying to get to is price. So if we see the Montana, there's no derivatives keeping the price low, right? It's 125,000 because it's just been bid up and up and up and up. There's no downplaying. And that's the problem with comex. It's the bullshit price fixing from JP Morgan, who do these algorithms that say sell without, I mean, it'd be like me selling the Montana card without having the card. That's the problem with these ETFs. That's the problem with these ETFs, and the problem with what are these SLV and GLD ETF? They're all bullshit. They don't have the gold and silver. They're illegal. They're Ponzi schemes, and avoid them. You don't really have gold or silver in them. You know, so it's like they have 1 ounce of silver, then they do the ETFs against it, saying, oh, our ETFs are worth so much. No, but it isn't, because you don't physically have the gold. They are pure. It's purely illegal. It's a pure Ponzi scheme, and avoid the ETFs. Just like comex. It's just, that's all bullshit. But that's what I was saying is the point of why the Montana card's 100 and a quarter. Why is this card 100 and a quarter and gold 3,000? Because this isn't being pushed down by JP Morgan and the bullion banks, right? This just keeps going up and up because there's demand, and there's short supply of PSA 10s. This is extremely difficult to get centered. And if it's way off center, you won't get a 10. So there might be 50 of these that are 10s. Right? So it's 100 and a quarter. Well, that's where gold would be if you couldn't keep getting the interference of the fucking derivatives and the price fixing. If you would just let it go. And that's why I say the paper price is 2,300. The physical price, a la this, the gold would be at least 20,000 an ounce now, because the Montana doesn't go down. It just keeps going up and up and up because there's no price fixing. Where the gold is the JP Morgan, I don't know, China wants to buy some, so let's do derivatives. So it'd be like China. It'd be like China wants this card, right? They want this card, so they want J.P. Morgan to do derivatives to lower the card, the $25 so they can buy it, even though they know it's worth 1.25. That's kind of what is happening in gold and silver. Is China wants to buy the Montana rookie, but they don't want to pay 125 for it. China wants to buy gold and silver, they don't want to pay price, so they do the analytic or algorithms to lower the price, and that's what's happening. So, but it's fortunately we see the game and it is up today, so we're happy with that. Hey, Luke. Where you don't know? Okay, I will show you. You're working too hard if you don't know the gold price. It is up today. It's at 23.34. So you can see it's very little today. It dropped from 23.39 to 23.33. You don't have the $50 drops. You have this one 23.46 to 27. You got a $7 drop. You got because the buyers are coming in. So when they do this big $80 drop, it's the algorithm going in saying sell, but there's nobody to buy it because they're all up at 24.50. They're trying to buy higher. They're not trying to buy at 24 at 23.30. That's why it falls, because of these algorithms. It's all bullshit. It's all illegal. It's all price fixing. But then it drops, and then you don't see it drop like that again, because now you got new bidders bidding it back up. Silver is at 30.37, gold 23.34. I expect the U.S. markets, to be closed Monday for Memorial Day, but the Chinese markets and Europe should be open. They don't celebrate Memorial Day there, so they should be open Monday. We should see some big prices going up because the U.S. is the one that puts that 10 o'clock drop in. So that's where we're at with it. You're driving home from Philly to Pitt. Healthy correction. Yeah, well, it's not a correction. It's just, like I said, the algorithm sell goes until the buy order, and there was no buy orders because they were all into the 24s. So when they did it, it just free fall, which then attracts new buyers at these lower levels. And the point's going to be that they won't be able to keep the algorithms going, right? The algorithm is going to die because they need physical. And now that you've got all these buyers at this low price, aka China and India, who are now saying, oh, great, we wanted you to lower the price so we could buy it. And they're all buying at this price. And it'll go back to 2,400. And the difference is they'll have little buyers at 23.90 and stuff. So when they pull the bullshit of the algorithms, it won't drop that much. But we'll be back to 2,400. I'm not worried. We'll be at 3,000. I'm not worried. This is the game being played with the algorithms. And it's totally illegal. And it's not like the Montana card. It's not supply and demand. It's just, it's the banks selling to get, it's really China wanting to buy, right? So the gold will end very soon. I think at the end of the quarter, that'll be done. The gold will be out. But the silver, we still got problems with. But the silver is not volatile. It's people simply, it's the same. It's the same algorithm keeping it down. Okay. So that's where we're at with it. But I wanted to explain the game to you. This is where I come up with my price targets, is looking at the Montana card and the Jordan rookie and the Brady rookie and the Mano card, because that's the real value, right? Without derivatives. And with the derivatives, there's the gold should be nowhere near 300, and silver should be way north of 500. But you have JP Morgan sticking their nose in it, and then China and Russia wanting to buy it. So imagine China and Russia wanting the Jordan rookie card for $500,000. Hey, can you do some derivatives? I want to buy it for $1,000. So they pound the derivatives to the Jordan card, which is at 500,000, and it goes down to $1,000. Who the fuck's selling it at $1,000? Nobody. And then China and Russia buy it for $1,000 because it's bullshit. And that's what we have in gold and silver. So just so you have an idea, so you don't worry. And there's the key is the demand for gold and silver's through the roof. So it'll always be brought back up. And then, like I said, this idiot's talking about de-dollar. There's no de-dollarization's phony. Let's see if I can find that video. We can have a good laugh at that. Real quickly as I'm scanning. So I saw our doctor today, and he was doing about dementia, and he said the 10 foods that you don't want to eat, and he got into it. He did say berries, but as long as you wash them and just eat them in moderation, you're okay. Watch your fish. Fish with mercury in it are very bad for you, but it's mostly insulin resistance. It's mostly your sugar. Everything goes back to too much sugar, too much carbs, high fructose corn syrup, the vegetable oils, all the normal stuff that gives you the insulin resistance, gives you the dementia. So if you just stop with the sugars and the carbs and don't drink too much, your liver will be okay and your blood pressure will drop and you'll be fine. So that's the key to everything is the high fructose corn syrup, the drinking, the smoking, all the shit that's bad for you gives you all these problems. It's the same thing every time, but it's good. Um, this was very interesting for everybody. The House passes a bill to ban central bank digital currency. This is today. Digital dollar ban passes in House. Now, will it pass in the Senate? I don't know. So they're saying it's illegal to have central bank digital currency. And my guess is this is brought to you by JP Morgan. Now, we talked about JP Morgan yesterday in class, how he liked monopolies. He has the monopoly on printing money right now. You think he's going to give that up so you can have a CBDC, a digital currency by the central bank, and he can't print? Are you kidding me? There's no fucking way JP Morgan's going to let that go. That's why I've said there won't be a CBDC in America because the banks have to pass it, and JP Morgan with the printing press, there's no fucking way he's going to do it. Even if we have gold-backed currency, he'll still print the money. He's got the monopoly on it. So as I said yesterday, the government should not be allowed to print money. It should be the banking system. I watched Mark McGuire this morning. This was terrible. This guy's an idiot. Whoever his guest was, total waste of time. Dr. Stephen, whatever, a moron. I mean, you got to be kidding. He was terrible. Um, what else was there? I don't even listen to Lynette Zhang. She steals most of my stuff anyway, but she doesn't know what she thinks it's hyperinflation. She doesn't even know what it is. I don't, I listened for about a minute and said, no, she's an idiot. Um, What else did I listen to? So Douglas McGregor is saying, get the fuck out of Ukraine already. He doesn't think there'll be a nuclear war because that ends in zero. And Putin doesn't really want one. He doesn't want any more land. He just wants to control Russia, but he just doesn't want NATO in Ukraine. And that's all it is. That's what this war is about, is just like us with missiles in Cuba. We didn't want missiles that close. I don't know why. Like, they can't fly here. So we seriously can't send a missile from Alaska to Russia, or them do the same. So I don't really get it, but the U.S. won't end the war. They want the industrial complex to keep making weapons. They're the ones running the country, apparently. I was watching this one on Mark McGuire explains the gold price fixing, and this is so blatantly ridiculous. Just a second, Luke. Healthy correction. It's not a correction. It's algorithms going down so China can buy gold and silver cheap. That's all it is. There is no correction. Who's correcting anything? When will the algorithm stop? When they run out of gold. They have to have gold, because when they do the algorithm, somebody's going to buy it. And so if they don't have any more gold, there won't be any more algorithms. But as you can see, they go and then they don't last much. They knocked it down to 2270 last week, and then it went all the way up to 2430. So there's not a lot left because there's not a lot of gold left. Silver, there is no silver left. People are trying to buy silver and there isn't any. So they run the algorithms. The silver price goes down, but then, like, India still wants to buy silver, and these big companies. People who make the Tomahawk missile need 500 ounces of silver for each missile. Well, they got to get it. And I don't know. I guess for some reason, Comex is the one with they're the suppliers. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that government's involved with the money. Just print it and get the fuck out of the way. So, but that's what's been keeping it down. So you understand it's not selling, is the point I'm trying to make here. Like I said, if it's Coca-Cola and all of a sudden they miss earnings numbers, their profit isn't good, there's forecasts to lower it, the stock price drops. That's not what you have here. There is no stock price. It's gold. It's not going down because they missed their earnings number, they missed their sales number. Their forecast is gold's going to be down. That's the difference in stocks and gold. Stocks go down because of bad information. Gold goes down because of China wanting to buy it. So, it'll stop. I mean, BRICS is not going to. What the reason that we love BRICS so much is because BRICS said, since we have all the metals and all the materials, the copper, the zinc, the gold, the silver, we want to price it. Why should the U.S. price it? So that's part of the collapse of the U.S. China and Russia. BRICS is going to come out with the pricing system, not the U.S. The dollar will go out. It's already going out, and they don't want to use it. So it's already not being used. A lot of China-Russia trade is China and Russia. India, China's Indian and China dollar. They're not using the U.S. dollar. So that's where you're at. See, Alligator did this one, but it's like end of silver manipulation, but it's not over. Like, the fact that India is buying, but maybe it takes a month or two to end it, right? It's ended, but not right away. And then Mark McGuire talking. I mean, maybe I'll show it. This is the funniest thing. He's trying to be a whistleblower, and there's no fucking way he understands. In other words, it's like you send somebody to me, Luke, and of course I'm on your side, right? So we're just going to laugh at it. And he goes to this whistleblower, and the guy said, well, we don't really have time for you. Like, there's no way. Look, JP Morgan's paying me, wink, wink. There's no way I'm looking into this. But Mark McGuire So let's see. This is 4 years ago.
Why are you not investing in tax liens? No, seriously. Why are you not investing into one of the most...
When it comes to buying large quantities of gold and silver, traders speak a language very few would recognize. Contracts, contangles, and coiling. Algorithms and spoofs. Just a few words to describe actions that can produce staggering profits. Whistleblower Andrew Maguire describes a bank robbery, but in this case, Maguire holds the opinion that the bank is doing the robbing. It's no ordinary bank. It's a bullion bank, an international bank licensed to deal in gold and silver.
We're showing you this in silver because it's easier to see. But in gold, gold is the largest commodity market on the planet Earth. And yet, we've got the same thing going on in the virtual world of gold.
Here's how it worked. Traders waited for most of the major markets from Shanghai to London to be closed. In New York, a gold and silver market called the comex was open, and this is where they concentrated their dealing.
This is a virtual world. This is not real physical. There's no numbered bars necessarily behind this. Essentially, you've created electronic gold and electronic silver.
Paper.
Trading anonymously, the players use what are called algorithmic trading systems to move in and out of futures contracts in the blink of an eye. 400 contracts a second. Each contract represents 5,000 ounces of silver.
Suddenly, someone gets the idea to sell nearly 45,000 trucks.
Such a massive wave of selling immediately drives the price of silver down. Investors, big and small, try to cut their losses and sell as the price drops. Anyone not in the game gets clobbered.
I know people who trade in the hundreds of contracts who lost, had everything taken out.
Then, without warning, the mysterious seller reverses course and starts buying the electronic silver back. Once again, by massive buying on the electronic exchange, the trader dictates the price, making it go up and profits massively from
Totally
the rise.
illegal.
The profit on each contract reaches $80,000. That's $80,000 times 45,000 contracts. $3,600,000,000.
It is illegal. It's absolutely illegal. Under commodity law, you're not allowed to be dictating the price on the futures market.
When we come back.
So now we see why they do it, right? Now you know why they do it. When will they stop if they can keep making this? So how many contracts do you think happened the other day when gold went down $80 and silver went down like $2? How much? That's what's happening. And but they changed the rules that you have to have some gold now, where before it was all paper. That's why the price. So yes, we have to kill it, but that's what Burks is saying. We don't want these idiots controlling it. We want to control the price with free market, not with paper.
Mr. Maguire goes to Washington as a whistleblower.
I woke up at 2 o'clock one morning and said, you know what, that's it. I'm going to the regulators. I can't stand this anymore.
Fortunately, the regulators
When
and
it comes to the
JP
world of
Morgan
gold and
guys.
silver, it appears that throughout history, greed often takes center stage. Andrew Maguire believes he is confronting exactly that, as he alleges that some of the world's biggest banks were rigging the price of gold and silver and making billions doing it. In Washington, Maguire approaches Commissioner Bart Chilton at the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Their job is to police the trading of silver.
Look at this idiot. How corrupt do you think he is?
What we've seen all too often is where you have an individual trader who has excessive concentration. When I say excessive, I mean concentration that can lead to pushing prices around. And we've seen it in precious metals, in silver, in gold, and some of the other commodities.
So the question is, he sees it. Why hasn't he done anything about it? Because he's on JP Morgan's payroll. Now you understand the story. So I looked at this guy and I said, this is a joke. This guy's not going to do shit.
Up his story, Maguire proposes going online with the CFTC investigator and guiding him through the manipulation in real time.
This chart is I was on live with him saying, right now, silver's going to go any minute now. I saw the signal come in, which is pretend offers and bids coming in and not trading. So suddenly, silver takes a drop. And I warned him just before, silver is going to go down below $15. Really, he had everything in his hands, live and pre-warned. A bit like me saying to the police, there's going to be a bank robbery and an ATM machine at exactly 3 o'clock this afternoon.
The scenario unfolds exactly as McGuire prophesized. It triggers a CFTC investigation.
The Andrew Maguire circumstance gets into an investigation currently ongoing, but we're doing the best we can given the resources we have, and I think we've made some progress.
But it's an uphill battle as a poorly funded and understaffed CFTC faces off against the massive lobbying effort by the banks. The investigation is ongoing. Across most of the world, the tallest building in almost every major city is a bank tower, cathedrals of finance. The Royal Bank building in Toronto takes the cake. Towering 41 stories over the downtown, it gleams golden in the morning sunshine. The answer to where's the gold? Astonishingly, it's baked into the windows. The glass of the 14,000 panes is cooked with 2,500 ounces of gold leaf. Now that gold is valued at over $3.5 million. The effect is spectacular.
So you can see, you don't think this guy's on JP Morgan's payroll or the Chinese payroll? Keep the price down. Notice he hasn't done anything, and there it is. So to answer that question, Luke, when will the algorithm stop? If it keeps making this,
Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
If it keeps making this kind of money, why would it stop? That's the problem. We want a fair price on physical gold and silver. That's why it's going to change as bricks. So before it was just all algorithms. Now with Basel 3 and the fact gold's now a tier 1, they can't do it anymore. They said, no, you can't. You have to have so much gold when you do this derivative, this algorithm. So it stops when they run out of the gold, which the way it's going, they don't have much gold left. And they have to deliver the gold. So they can't just do these algorithms without having any gold. That's what they were doing in this video. They were just, all sorts, and they're making all this money. It's all bullshit. And how they even let it go on and let it begin and not do anything about it, go talk to Jamie Dimon running it. Right? It's just pure bullshit. That's how corrupt everything is. However, that's paper. So the physical price is getting it. But as we do this, this is going down in value. So because this is going out, they won't be able to do it either because they'll need money. The money won't be worth anything. So that's the double header part of it is you won't be able to use dollars and gold price will go because gold will be priced around the world. Not that. Now we have the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which right now they're still pricing it. They're doing a premium, but it's basically priced in the US dollars, which is basically paper. So it's 23.30 plus, so maybe it's 24.30, the physical price but it's not, that's not the real physical. Again, the derivative's knocking the price down. There was no selling. Nobody sold. Gold didn't hit 24.40 and everybody decides to sell. Even if they did, that's not what prices the gold. The gold's not priced on, if I went out and bought 20 of these things, wouldn't raise the price of nickel. And if I sold 20 of these things, it wouldn't lower the price of nickel. So that's the problem. It's all this derivative. It's all the algorithms. That's the fucked up part of it. It's these algorithms are the worst thing I've ever seen. And they fuck up a lot of stuff. But that's what Mark McGuire did. But look at the guy. Did you think the guy was going to help him? As soon as I saw the guy, I would have walked out of the office. Yeah, I can see you're on J.P. Morgan's payroll and all the lobbyists and everything else. There's no fucking way we're doing anything. Here's an interesting one. Your economic war. China dumps the largest U.S. treasuries in history. That was in the first quarter, and it's basically what, like $87 billion, which we know China's dumping all their dollars, and now they're getting sanctions. So they're telling the U.S. to fuck off. They're dealing with Russia, and they're dealing with Saudi Arabia, and they're dealing with India, and they're using yuan. They're not using dollars. So the game was China had to get U.S. dollars to then buy oil from Saudi Arabia to get their dollars, or China had to then buy dollars to sell dollars to get rupees, which are Indian dollars, and that's gone now. That's what they want to get rid of, is the U.S. being the middleman. Why the fuck is the U.S. the middleman? It's costing us money, because every time we sell our yuan to buy dollars to buy the other currency, there's a big expense to sell, and then to sell the dollars to buy the rupee is a lot. So there's all these extra dollars being spent with the U.S. in the middle to buy oil. So anytime you buy oil, it's got to be in U.S. dollars, which is the biggest joke. It can't last, and it's finally ending, because that's what's causing this massive inflation with the U.S. This 130 trillion is all the dollars needed for the FX. You can't just keep printing dollars backed by nothing and holding the value. Hence the Jordan card, the Mantle card, the Montana card. These are extremely limited PSA 10s. The Jordan and Montana, good luck. I went through 1,000 81 and 86 flares and 81 tops. You couldn't find 5 cards that were perfectly centered. Forget the Montana and the Jordan. I couldn't find an Isaiah Thomas card that was perfectly centered, or Magic or Bird. So it was hard to get centered cards, and therefore hard to get 10. So it is limited. But the more limited something is, the more it's worth. So don't forget that. So yeah, Luke, when will the algorithm stop? In gold, it's stopping very soon. As soon as they run out of gold, they need gold to do the derivative, to do the algorithm, and they just don't have it. So it's not like it was, I just showed you in that video, where they're doing the algorithms and just it kills the price, and then they're buying it back up. So that is how you saw it go from 23.20 to 24.20 was algorithms bought up, because you could see the line go straight up or straight down. That's the algorithms. So we're just trying to get to a free market value. And in physical world where there is no algorithms, then that will be the true price. And that's where I'm saying, once we break this, because Russia and China and BRICS do not want COMEX to be running it. They don't want it controlled. They want a much higher price, because they got it all. Right? So you're Russia. You got 30,000 tons of gold. Believe me, the last thing you want is 2,000 an ounce. You want 10,000 an ounce. And you know the U.S. doesn't have any. So this is just a bullshit game. This is another reason you can't trust the banks and you can't trust Wall Street. This is what I'm saying. This makes Madoff look like a Boy Scout. So understand, anything to do with Wall Street, stocks, bonds, these derivatives, all the COMEX stuff, it's all bullshit. Get the fuck away from it before you get murdered in it, because you're not going to be able, you can't beat those guys if they're doing that shit. So that's why I'm holding physical and not ETFs and not stocks. I'm holding this because they can't do anything. Yeah, they can for a minute manipulate the value, but notice it goes up also. But they can't zero this out. They can't do it. I have this, but if I have an ETF or a real estate trust like Attack on Wall Street, I can go to zero. And that's the difference. I'm holding that. I can't go to zero. So that's why we want to hold the physical gold and silver. So please be apprised of that's what's happening. It is never, there's no demand. When there's no demand, we're in trouble if it drops, and there's no demand to raise it up. But that's not what's happening. We got huge demand. All the central banks, BRICS, Zimbabwe, all buying gold. So therefore, don't worry, the price will go up. And with BRICS going to a gold backed system, don't worry, they'll raise the price up. And with the US dollar going out, how are they going to do the algorithms if they don't have any money? So we will see, but very, very corrupt. And that's why gold and silver have never gone up in price the way they should. And maybe that's why people don't buy it. Maybe they know the algorithms. Maybe they don't. I didn't know it a few years ago that the algorithms were keeping the price down, but I do now. Everybody's like, why is silver $25 an ounce? Well, that's why. The algorithms in silver are still going because they don't need to have the physical to do it. So it's a game where somebody shorts it and then somebody buys it, So Goldman Sachs will sell it, JP Morgan will buy it, and it never leaves the house. And it just, this is why the price of silver is so low. If you got rid of the comex and this bullshit price fixing, there's one idiot who is supposedly controlling it, who I'm sure is paid off by JP Morgan. He ain't going to say anything. Oh, yeah, I'm looking into it. 20 years later, I'm looking into it. Give me a break. This guy's an idiot. So he's paid off. What do you think he's going to say? Well, we're looking into it, but we're short manpower, meaning I got paid off by JP Morgan. There's no fucking way I'm looking into this. Luke, this manipulation keeps dragging on and on and on. When the hell is the revaluation going to happen? Well, that's what you got BRICS, right? BRICS is going to a gold-backed currency. It's starting soon. And that's when the hell it's going to happen. It's moving pretty quickly considering, but we've seen the manipulation for a long time. But a lot of it is the dollar will go out, which will help us because you won't be able to price it in dollars. When the dollar goes out, gold will be priced in gold, not dollars. But put it this way, if you're China and Russia, you don't want this, right? And so this is a U.S. manipulation thing, and COMEX is in the U.S. Well, BRICS is going to move it to China, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, or Russia's going to do some gold exchange, and then they'll do it there, but they won't manipulate it because they don't want it manipulated. So then it'll go up. I know Saudi Arabia wants gold for oil. So all this demand for gold, they're not going to be able to keep the price down. And again, it's manipulated. So what we're hoping for is when it goes to the gold-backed current, the currency goes to a gold-backed currency and the US dollar gets out of the way. And now we have gold-backed dollars, then the gold price should go to the moon. And it's happening. BRICS just came out. There's 5 countries now. There's 10 or 12, and they're going to 40 or 50, and they're all going to be on the gold standard, and they're going to need a much higher gold price to print all the money they need for all these countries. So keep an eye on that. So it's happening. We'll see where we're at by the third quarter, but it's happening now. You can see we're at 23.50 gold, and silver's over 30 on its way. So it's starting to move. It's like the Titanic. You're asking me, well, we hit the iceberg. When's it sinking? And my answer to you is, well, I don't know exactly, but you can see the water rushing in. It's going to sink. Let's walk to the lifeboat. And so you're in the lifeboat now, the gold and silver, and it's sinking. We just don't know the exact time, but we know it's sinking, and we know there's nothing they can do to keep the dollar alive. It's going out. It's just like I said, That's why I read the Romans, the French, the Spain, Amsterdam, England. They all had gold. They were all the big power, and they all went out because they got rid of the gold and inflated the dollar. We got rid of our gold. We're inflating the dollar. We're going right by the playbook. And so it's just I could see us in Rome right now, and you're going, when's this Julius Caesar guy getting out of here so we can get a real price on our gold? And that's, that's where we're at. It's happening. But, the question you're asking, I can't answer. It's not Sunday at 3 is the football game. But we know the inflation's there. We know the dollar has no value. We know nobody wants it. It's going out. And then gold will go to the moon because you'll need something, right? So that's where we're at. The 1 year, 2, 5. I need a house while my kids are growing up, not when they're teenagers. Well, what can I tell you? If you bought a house now, you'd be in big trouble because there won't be a value of the house. It'll be okay. You're better off not having a house now than having one. Then you're spending $500,000. It's worth nothing. So just keep owning the gold and silver, and you'll be fine. The kids probably don't have a clue. They don't know the difference. Just love the kids, and just at the end of the rainbow, they'll be very rich kids. You'll be very rich, and that's all that matters. You can't. You're concerned about buying a house. I don't own a house. I'm fine. I got a place to sleep. I got a place to eat, a place to watch TV, a place to teach. I'm not worried about it. Your bigger worry is if you had a $500,000 house and a $500,000 mortgage, that all of a sudden the house loses its value and you lost $500,000. That's what I would be more concerned with. But you don't have that problem, so you're not going to lose. And then when gold goes to the moon, then you'll have your house, and the kids will be fine. The kids shouldn't be that worried if they're in a house or a condo or an apartment. 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, we don't know. Hopefully we'll by the third quarter. Once BRICS gets going and gets it out, then you'll see a lot of changes. And BRICS is going, and it's committed to a gold-backed currency. So it's already out there. So BRICS is our friend, and they're starting to move. It just takes a little bit of time. So that's all I can say. I know where we're headed. I don't know the exact time. Nobody really does, but it'll be soon. Let's look at it in October, and then we'll look at it at the end of the year. But it's already it hit 24, so we're back to 2350. I don't know. What would I tell you? You want to go buy a house now with the heavy inflation and the high interest rates? So you're banking in gold to buy the house. Just wait. Like I said, I'm going to take this and buy a house with my quarter ounce. That's look what they did in Germany, right? The paper became wallpaper and toilet paper, and then people were buying big, rich houses for 1 or 2 ounces of gold. So just be patient. You don't need a house while your kids are growing up. Not when they're teenagers. So let the kids go to work and go buy you a house. I mean, don't worry about it. Don't think like that. You don't have to worry about it. The main thing is they'll be taken care of when they're older. And that's all you can do. But don't worry about it. I mean, you want to go buy a house now and pay 10% interest and pay $500,000 with 10% interest and then watch it go down to zero? You want to do that? The housing market's going to crash, so is the stock market. So at least you're smart enough to be in gold and silver and not in stocks and houses. Anyway, don't worry. You understand the concepts. You understand why. You understand what's happening. So you shouldn't be worried. At the end of the day, the gold will be worth a ton. The dollar will be worth zero. That's as close as you can get to. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. You'll understand it, and that's what you'll do. So you'll be able to buy the kids 2 houses. They'll each have their own house. Are you going to give them gold, or are you just going to keep it for yourself? I'll give Daria a little gold. She can give it to her daughter if she wants to. Mark McGuire has this credit card that pays gold out. So on his channel, on his show today,
homeowners love these new whole home water treatment systems, starting with a free water test.
The immediate reaction to China's sell-off was marked by increase.
So this is no more dollar. So what do you think of that, Luke? No more dollar. China's selling all the dollars. So do you want to hold dollars? Do you want to hold assets in dollars? So if you own a house in dollars and the dollar goes to zero, what's your house worth? So would you rather be, that's your option, right? So you don't want to be in that. Let's see. So Mark McGuire's thing, he's got at one, he was a 120, whatever. He's got this. If you give him your gold, he'll hook you into a credit card that pulls from the gold in your account. So in other words, the question is, well, how do I use this at the grocery store? And the answer is you won't. He'll have it in his account, and then it'll pull the gold to pay for everything. I got 2 problems with that. One, I don't want to spend my gold. Are you calculating if I bought a Pepsi for $3? Are you pulling $3 out of my gold to pay for the Pepsi when my gold's worth $2,500 an ounce? How are you coming up with the $3? I don't want to use my gold to pay for a Pepsi. I want to use this shit to pay for my Pepsi, not this is worth $700. I don't want you to pull $3 out of this. So that's the first problem I have with it. And then getting him the gold and silver, what kind of conversion rate, what kind of storage rate. So I don't know enough about it, but what's going to happen is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to my Chase or JP Morgan or Wells Fargo, wherever I have my account, and I'm going to turn this into whatever the currency is going to be, but it's not going to be CBDCs as they just made it illegal, or at least in the House. So I'm going to take this, cash it in for whatever money's worth, and put that money in my account, and that's how I'm going to use it. I'm not going to take this to the grocery store. I mean, these people are so fucking stupid. How do I take gold to the grocery? How do you take a Rolex to the grocery? So if you have no money and you need food, you got a Rolex. You think you're going to take the Rolex to the grocery store? Yeah, this is worth $75,000. Can you give me change? I want to buy milk and bread. Can you give me change? No, you're going to sell it and get the money. Whatever that medium of exchange is, this is going to be worth a lot more. And if it's gold-backed currency, then fine. And if it's more, you just hope it's not fiat. You hope that the U.S. has, even if it takes the BRICS gold-backed currency to use, you need gold-backed currency. You need gold to survive. So that's what we're hoping for. But it'll be gold paper, like in Zimbabwe. They got gold dollars, and that's what they use. So I don't get it. People are just like, how am I going to take my coin to the grocery store? What a bunch of idiots. You don't even understand what a medium of exchange is. That's this. This is the medium of exchange. You're just going to switch this worthless dollar for one that has gold attached to it. That's it. That's all you're doing. It's not too hard. Let's see, Luke. What the fuck is up with NVIDIA minus 2.6 trillion valuation? These stocks are so thick. Well, I've been telling you that, Luke. I'm sorry. We went over that. I told you to get out of stocks, get out of bonds, get out of the bank. So if you're still in it, we can reteach it. The stocks are fixed, just like you see these algorithms. That's what's going on in stocks. No surprise. You see what happens. They do it in gold. They do it in stocks. They do it everywhere. All these algorithm things are a bunch of bullshit. They're Bernie Madoff's finest hour. And if they were then when he was there, he'd have been doing the algorithms to find money to keep his Ponzi scheme going. So yes, the stocks are I've been in the stock market in 4 or 5 years now. Yes, they're fixed. The algorithms are fixed. Yes, they're fixed in that. They're fixed in the bonds. They're fixed in real estate trusts. Everything on Wall Street and with the banks, use the algorithms. They're fixed. Yes, we know that. Get the fuck out of all that. I'm telling you, I got 99.5% of my money in gold and silver because they can't fuck with it. Once I have it in my hand, they can't fuck with it. They can fuck with the value day to day, but at the end of the day, in the long run, they can't fuck with the value of my money. This is money. They can't take it from me. That's why we're in gold and silver coins. That's what I tell you. And the occasional Mahomes card, the Bobby card, the Montana rookie, the Mickey Mantle. That's why we're in them. Because again, they can't algorithm those. So we want to be in physical things they can't algorithm. Any of this digital paintings and digital this and digital that they can algorithm, you're going to be fucked. So you don't want to touch. The only one things you want to touch is stuff you can put in your hand, and that's it. So stop fucking around with these other things. I don't know why you think you have to diversify. You don't have to. Just buy the gold, put it in your hand, like you got the silver boxes. Very good. That's it. You understand it. So then why are you still fucking around with stocks? The CEO net worth is now 86 billion. Who cares? It's paper. When the dollar goes out, his 86 billion goes out, because when the stock market crashes, his value will be worthless. So will Zuckerberg's and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's. All their money will go to zero because it's all paper, and these stocks are worthless. All this stuff. How much do you think Facebook's worth? You think this Meta's worth anything? What's he selling? What's the product? Well, I'm going to steal your information and sell it to the Russians. That's the Zuckerberg business model. What the fuck is that? At least make a product. Well, you're not making a product. You're taking everybody's information and selling it. How does that benefit anybody? That's why I'm off Facebook, and I'm only on here to do these, and then I'm on Twitter, but nobody seems to see me there. Instagram, I'm very rarely on because again, it's Facebook. So basically, that's the thing. But stop worrying about that stuff, Luke. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's all fake. It's all fantasy. As soon as the dollar goes out, the stock market will crash, and then all these people will be worth zero. Then you can have a good laugh. Until then, you've got to understand it's worthless. It's not real. It's paper gains, and paper gains aren't worth anything. So anyway, keep that in mind. So that's what we're dealing with. But we understand the game, and therefore, we can, if you understand something, then you'll be okay with it. All right. One more time. Let's go through the games. Basketball, we like mini and minus 5.5 tonight. They're down 1-0. They're at home, off of a loss. Look for them to win. Baseball, Kansas City, 10 unit. Baltimore, 5 unit. The Cubbies, 10 unit. San Diego under 7.5, 5 unit. Arizona, 5 unit. The Dodgers, 5 unit. Phillies, 5 unit. Cleveland over 7.5, 5 unit. And the Fighting Verlanders, 5 units. So that's baseball. That's basketball. Don't do hockey. It's too weird. Bobby Orr's not playing. I'm not interested. But we know the manipulation, and just don't worry about it. It's the gold's going away. The silver will go away a little bit later, but it'll go away. But you can see the manipulation there. So you understand it's manipulated. And what's going to save the manipulation is BRICS. BRICS will get rid of it all. And then you go, oh, okay, that's fine. So you'll understand what's going. If you understand what's going on, you don't get as frustrated. You know why. So now you just go from there. Anyway, I had a great interview yesterday. So I've had 2 great interviews at this company, and I'm waiting. The hiring boss, so my boss, I met with the VP and the CFO. My boss is on vacation in Europe. Sounds familiar. He's probably with Jenna, and he'll be back on the 3rd or something. So they'll set up an interview after Memorial Day to meet him early in June. And then as long as I don't say anything too stupid, looks like I have a good chance to get this job. It's remote, so it's perfect. So I can theoretically work with Jenna or Daria on vacation in Europe. Well, not on vacation, but I can be there and then just work from there for a couple of weeks and then be with my girls. So that's the plan, but not right away. It'll take a few months. And I told Daria, don't worry, we'll still vacation whenever your mom can come. We'll go to Serbia. And I'll just say I had the vacation plan. And that'll be it. So have a good Memorial Day. Go make a nice barbecue, Luke. Don't worry about the kids. The kids will be fine. You know, all you can do is love the kids and treat them nice. And that's it. Just let them be. They'll be fine. I don't care if they're in a house. As long as they have a bed, and a TV, and a computer, they're fine. Or a cell phone. The kids are fine. So anyway, understand that. And that's it. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm out. We talked a lot about the Roman Empire and the other empires and who was number one throughout time, and they all fall down once they get rid of gold. So ours is falling down. We know that. If we buy gold, we're protected. We'll be fine. And then all that'll happen is this goes to zero. They'll need a new medium of exchange so you can go to the grocery store and you can get paid. Should be backed by gold. But since we don't have any gold, I have no idea what we're going to do. I don't know if we'll just use the BRICS gold back currency since they're using the dollar. Maybe we can do that. Or we go to a BRICS country and live. And so if I have to go to Russia, then that's what I'm going to do. But I'll live with Daria, so I'll be safe. Anyway, that's about it. I'm getting tired. Time for some dinner. www.teaserking.com. I'll be on tomorrow morning, a normal Saturday for me. Football, I don't know. You're welcome, Luke. You're fine, Luke. You got the gold. You've got the physical. You'll be fine. That's all. They can't make this worth zero. They can't take it from you. As far as anybody knows, you don't have any. So you've got it. You lock it away somewhere, you're fine. It's going to go to the moon. You just got to be patient because they're fighting. The U.S. is fighting. J.P. Morgan doesn't want to give it up, but they have to because Russia and China want it, and BRICS. So it's just what it is. And these algorithms are really for China to buy cheaper gold and silver. That's really what's happening. But as that runs out, so think of it as a Super Bowl. The first tickets come out, and they're cheap. But then they all go to JP Morgan, and then he starts selling the secondary tickets, and then they're $5,000-$6,000 a ticket. But they started out at 200. but they are all gone. So then they go to secondary, and that's what's happening in gold. Once it's all gone, then it goes to the secondary price, which will be much higher. And we're waiting for that. It's just there's 250,000 tons of gold, which is almost done. So it's almost gone. So very soon, couple more, 6 more months. But you can see it's going up. It hit 2,400. It'll go back. It'll go to 25. It'll go to 3 on its way to 20. So but it's going to go up and down. So just understand that. Like your stocks, they don't just go up. They go down and up and profit taking. But gold's not a stock. It's not profit taking. It's not consolidation. It's nothing. It's going down so China can buy it. That's all that it is. Once they take the lid off free market discovery, well, BRICS will do that. BRICS wants that Zimbabwe is backing their dollars with gold and keeping them at free market. Whatever the value of gold is in the free market is how they're doing theirs. And BRICS probably met with Russia, and that's what Russia's going to do. We'll know more, and I think I think soon there's a BRICS summit in St. Pete, and then it'll be in Kazan again in October. So by then we'll have a better price. But you can see it got to 24. Nobody thought it would, and so it's just a matter of every time it goes up, there's going to be some derivatives down, and then it'll be pushed back up by all the demand of the central banks who need gold. So the demand is there, and they're just buying it cheap. So you can see today it's up, so it'll keep going up. There is huge demand. Demand makes the price go up. So as long as you see demand, you're fine. That's why you're worried in here. There's no demand for this. Nobody wants it. They can't sell their T-bills. Who the fuck wants it? So that's the problem, right? Nobody wants this. I'd be more concerned about that than everybody wants this. So, of course, the price will go up. So, anyway, din time. Have a great Memorial weekend. I'm not going anywhere, so I will be tomorrow. I might go shopping. I probably have a very good chance, probably like 90% that I got this job, as long as I don't say anything stupid, because I've already met with the VP and the CFO, and they both like me. So if they both like me and I just sent the thank yous, then I can't imagine the hiring manager going against both of those two guys. And I can't imagine me being so stupid to say something wrong. I got to be careful not to bring up gold or not to bring up the girls in Russia or anything. As long as I just keep it to business, I'll be fine. So I'm waiting for that the week of the 3rd. So I'd like to go maybe up north shopping to get some more clothes, but that's about it. Otherwise, I'm just relaxing. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good, go barbecue, go enjoy, and everything's fine. If you're in gold, you're fine. Okay. All right. www.teaserking.com. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.